Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from the Raven. XRP isn't waiting. It's leading the charge into the new financial era. Every move banks make, every regulation shift, it all lines up with XRP at the center. The ones holding now aren't just investors, they're pioneers. I always said people that are buying into crypto, we are the modern day prospectors, prospecting for riches, and we are about to get those riches over the coming months. You know, not everybody is going to make it rich off of XRP. Most will sell too soon. Some will give up way too soon. And the ones that are left are going to get financial freedom. Many people forget that the goal isn't money. The goal is to spend your day as you wish. You know, money comes and money goes. You could always make money. But the one thing you never get back is time. I always told you, you give me something that is worth more than anything else. Your time every day when you watch my videos. And I appreciate that more than anything. But where this leads you is to having the time to do the things you want to do every single day. That's what crypto is going to give to you if you hold it long enough. If you hold XRP long enough, you will be able to retire. You'll have the time to do all the things you ever wanted to do. And time is way more important than money. And never let money control you. You control the money. This comes from Smoke. No bank has unlimited resources. XRP, however, gives financial institutions immediate and unlimited access to liquidity. Documented 3 times. That's the game changer with XRP, that on-demand liquidity. You know, everybody thinks this liquidity crisis disappeared for some reason. It's still looming. And when that hits the banks, that's it. We're going to see a major crash happen. And what's going to fix that? XRP, on-demand liquidity. The banks don't even need to crash. All they got to do is get involved, start utilizing XRP, and they could claw back all that nostro money back to the bank. That would solve all the banking issues. But I think they want a crash to happen. How do you transition people from the current financial system into a new financial system? First, you have to have a crash, then you offer them the solution. The phoenix will rise from the ashes. Canary Capital CEO says XRP ETF can do $5 billion in the first month and can outperform ETH from pure financial services. Take a listen to this.
The Ripple ETF or XRP ETF approval odds right now on Polymarket hovering at around 86%. So one of its highest points, but it looks like this is going to happen. And what is the likelihood of the timing for this right now?
I would guess that XRP would probably be this year. Either Eric or James from Bloomberg simply said, well, if there's futures at Coinbase, then you probably get an ETF in 2025.
Your statement at that time was $5 billion in the first month. Are you still holding to that? Do you think that's a possibility?
I really am. I would say after Bitcoin, XRP is probably the most well-known on Wall Street and on finance circles. And then ETH is actually probably number 3. So if you think about it that way, I do believe that XRP could potentially outperform ETH just from, pure financial services.
Take notice to what he said there. Wall Street knows XRP better than they know Ethereum. So he's thinking that it's Bitcoin, then XRP, then Ethereum. Wait until it's XRP, then Bitcoin, then Ethereum, because that is what's coming. Once XRP breaks out because of these ETFs, that's going to be mind-blowing for most retail investors. And X says, if all XRP ETFs are approved at the same time in October, they will push the price to such high levels that institutions will be able to use it as a settlement mechanism just before the global implementation of ISO 222. You are not prepared for what is coming. You know, that actually makes sense. You know, if they're going to utilize XRP inside of messages to move money around the world, it can't be at a cheap price. You know, people don't realize that yet. They think that you could move all the money around the world on a $3 XRP. It's just not going to happen. But the XRP ETFs, they coincide with a few things. It's ISO 222. It's also regulations coming in that same time frame. And then you start to look at the rise of tokenization as well. Those are major catalysts that can get XRP above 3 digits in the short term. And this comes from John Squire. New to XRP, start here. The visual gives you the full picture, background, real utility, why banks choose it, and how to jump in. It also tells you about getting your crypto off the exchanges. But the reason I wanted to share this with you again is because we are at a time now that even if you have friends that don't believe XRP is the future, they don't believe that XRP will one day be moving all the world's money all over the world and part of the new financial system, get them into XRP anyway. Anybody out there that just wants to make money should buy this cryptocurrency now. That's the way I look at it. You know, if you have some bills that need to be paid, throw some money into XRP now, and within the next 3 to 4 months, you will be able to cover those bills and then some. If you're looking to buy a newer car, you know, take some money, throw it into XRP. Over the next 3 to 4 months, you'll be able to cash out and buy a car. Because the prices of this cryptocurrency are going to 10x whatever you put in right now. Most people are out there thinking it's going to pull like a 30, 40, 50x. And that could very well happen. But when I talk to people outside of crypto, I always tell them like this. Expect anywhere from a 5 to 10x. Bottom. That's the bottom. You'll probably get a lot more, but I would expect at least that much to happen from where we are right now. Why would you not take advantage of it? It's like making free money over the coming months. Dr. Lehman Baird, it's invisible for the person who doesn't know any better. You won't manage keys. You won't trust a single custodian. You won't even know it's happening. Open a bank account. You already have a wallet backed by other institutions. Take a listen to what Lehman Baird says here.
Benjamin mentioned it needs to be invisible. Mark mentioned it needs to be invisible. May mentioned, you know, custodians aren't ideal, but they're the 90% solution. We need to be moving in this direction and setting it up for people. Look, the average person doesn't want to deal with complexity, doesn't want to understand these things. You need to set it up. And we have people setting up right now for banks and for credit unions, 2 different organizations, where when you set up your account with the bank or the credit union, you get a crypto wallet and it automatically picks 2 other banks or 2 other credit unions, and the 3 of them together are your helpers invisibly, automatically. You don't have to know about it. You don't have to think about it. You just get that level of protection. And then if you are an expert, you could add more helpers. You could remove those helpers. Maybe you don't trust those helpers. Fine, go get some more of your own. You have total control. You have the self-sovereignty. It's your keys, your crypto. It's invisible for the person who doesn't know any better. And we have got to set up these invisible safety nets for people.
You take notice, he's talking about mass adoption. He's saying people aren't even going to realize that they're utilizing crypto or blockchain in any way. You know who else said that? Brad Garlinghouse. One day you won't even realize you're using XRP. It'll just be how the world moves value. And that's when the normies, the people outside of crypto, they're going to be like, oh, I don't even know why you ever invested in that cryptocurrency. Or you're just lucky. Look at how rich you got off of crypto. Meanwhile, every transaction that they're making is running over the blockchain. And in the background, crypto is being utilized. So even the people that don't believe in crypto right now, at that point, they're going to be using it anyway. And that's when you will realize that mass adoption has happened. And Lehman Baird also talks about tokenization. Remember the other day I made a video and I was talking about how by 2030 you will own nothing and be happy? That's the World Economic Forum, what they always used to say with the Great Reset. Well, everything will be tokenized, and it's not just going to happen on Hedera. It's going to happen on the XRP ledger. It's going to happen on other networks as well. But take a listen to what he says about tokenization here, because then it all makes sense.
As we grow and mature as an industry, we're going to end up taking over the world. Everything of value will be tokenized. I mean, that really is what's going to end up happening. And everything of value will be tokenized, and every area of business and society and education and everything is going to have at least some component that is using ledgers. Not everything will. There'll still be traditional blockchain databases, and there'll even be traditional, sometimes you store stuff on paper. That still happens. But just like most paper moved to databases, a lot of the database around value will move to blockchains and ledgers. And so I think we're going to see that. And our interoperability will be an important part of how we end up, our industry ends up taking over the world and making the world better, making the world more trustworthy, safer, faster, disintermediating, and cheaper, because you've disintermediated, and even allowing us to do things we couldn't do before. And part of that will be the interledger communication, and it will be all the ledgers that you think of, and maybe some CBDC ledgers too, which would also be nice. Things that ledgers do beyond cryptocurrency. Tokenization is a big deal. And I've mentioned it several times. I've met someone who tokenized her house, and not only did that, where you could have people buy pieces of your house, but had this really cool system where you could do, it's through Toko, through DLA Piper's spinoff.
Take notice how he said he knows somebody that already tokenized their house. And that's what people will be doing. You won't be going to get that equity loan anymore. You could just take and tokenize maybe 5% of your house and get some money, get by, and then eventually buy those tokens back. You're going to have to own 100% of the tokens that are associated with your house in the future. Now, Lehman Baird, he thinks this is going to be for the better. In other words, it's going to be better for everyone when this happens. But in the wrong hands, tokenization could be very dark as well. All of a sudden, people start losing everything. But they are going to take over the world. And take notice, he didn't say it's just one ledger, it's just one network. Because he knows Ripple's going to be involved here. Stellar's going to be involved here. Algorand's going to be involved here. XDC Network, Quant, IOTA. They're all going to be working together inside of this massive new financial system. It's not one token to rule them all, is what I'm saying. XRP price could reach $175.92 if Elon Musk starts promoting XRP like Dogecoin. So now people want Elon to start talking and promoting XRP. The problem I see with that is I'm sure there is an NDA in there somewhere. I'm sure Elon Musk has talked to Brad Garlinghouse multiple times in the past. I'm sure he has communicated with David Schwartz as well. Do you honestly think a billionaire like Elon Musk doesn't know where the future's going? Doesn't realize that XRP was the chosen one? You know, people, retail investors on X, they speculate on everything. And they also cite rumors. But if you sit down and just give it some thought. I mean, think about it. Why would Elon Musk not know where everything is going? What is going to be utilized inside of the new financial system? I'm sure Jeff Bezos knows as well. I'm sure Larry Fink knows. These people are all in the know. And most of these people are also tied in with the elites that are pulling the strings on all of this. You know, the elites that run the world, not the people we know, not the Elon Musk, not the Michael Saylors, not the Larry Finks or Brad Garlinghouses of the world. I'm talking about the people that really pull the strings. They're the ones that put this in motion. They're the ones that chose Ripple early on. There's a reason Brad gets a seat at the table. Never forget that as an XRP holder. And when this all comes together, we are going to get financial freedom. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.